ማዚ ስቱዲዮስ ቃሎነ በመድረክ ተታወራ አይቻት አላቀም ግን ለእናንተ ክብር ትንሽ ነገር እንድትል ጋብዛት ባክሽ ማዚ
መቼ ነው መተህ እዚህ የቀረው አንተ
ኢትዮጵያ አየር መንገዶችን ትኬት እየጠበቅኩ ነው ልመለስ
እኛ እንገዛልሃለን ተመለስ
ማዚ እናት
በጣም የሚገርማችሁ እኔ ንግግሩን በአማርኛ ነበር ያዘጋጀሁት ነውር ነው የውጭ ሀገር ሰዎች አሉ ስለዚህ በእንግሊዘኛ ቢሆን ጥሩ ነው ሲባል ተርጉሜዋለሁ እንደ አማርኛው ይጣፍጥ አላውቅም ረቤካ በአማርኛ በመትሞክርበት መድረክ ላይ እኔ በእንግሊዘኛ መናገር ትንሽ ግራንም የሚሆነው ግን ልሞክር በጎደለ ሙሉበት እናንተ To the Grand African Run and African Award Board members, 2024 award recipients, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be among this year's recipients, the renowned Aster, who needs no introduction, the Olympic medalists and world record holders, Gudaf Tsaggai and ትግስት and the Executive Director, Rebeca, who's paving the way for improved quality of education in Ethiopia. I'm proud to be among you and would like to thank the organizers for this honor. This month, as we celebrate Shaggar Radio's 17th anniversary, I want to take this time to reflect on the media in Ethiopia and Shaggar's beginnings. When I started as a young reporter, the nature of press freedom in Ethiopia was not as it is now. Both print and broadcast media had been under the strict control of the Ethiopian government. At the time, I was working at the Sports Commission as a junior reporter. After Ethiopia's win at the East and Central Africa football tournament, President Mengistu Haile Mariam made a speech during a grand reception at the palace. In his speech, he announced that the government would build a stadium that could host 100,000 people. This announcement was publicly broadcast. When this story was written for the front page of our bi-weekly sports newspaper, I took the copy to the censorship office before taking it to print, as was required at the time. By the end of the day, the front page story was scrapped completely. The censorship officer told me that despite the public announcement made by our president directly and heard by everyone in attendance and by anyone listening at home, he assured me that this couldn't go to print because Ethiopia at the time could not afford to build the stadium. This was the nature of censorship in Ethiopia. Even the president's own words couldn't beat censorship. When this story was written for the front page of the Fast Forward, the transitional government brought the Press Freedom Act of 1992, which abolished censorship. Years later came the broadcast law, which allowed us to take out a license to start Shaggar Radio. The license only allowed us to transmit in the country's capital, Addis Ababa, and surrounding areas. Today, through online streaming, we're able to reach audiences everywhere, including listeners residing outside of Ethiopia, with major listeners in the United States of America, South Africa, the UK, and other European countries, the Middle East, and Australia. But I can't say confidently this legislative change brought complete press freedom in Ethiopia. At the time, many newspapers had been shut down and journalists were threatened and put in jail for attempting to report the reality of what was happening in the country. During this time, I had a meeting with a university professor who was renowned for his peaceful political struggle and outspoken views. During our pre-interview, he asked me why Shaggar was still standing despite so many news outlets being shut down. And I answered that we do not serve our community by being shut down, but rather by surviving the challenges. Ironically, it was my interview with Professor Masfin Waldemariam that led to a top government official demanding we stop the program or else we would lose our license. We did not hesitate to stand up to power and told them that they could do whatever they wanted, and that my interview with Professor Masfin would continue to be broadcast. This is the time I have ever told, this is the first time that I have ever told this story publicly. And to this day, I don't know who or what saved us. Press freedom in Ethiopia is a work in progress, and we have seen many challenges and advances alike. Shaggar is a radio station built by journalists with very limited resources. We were the pioneers of private radio in Ethiopia and have struggled through many trials throughout our time. Now there are over 30 private and community radio stations who have learned from our experiences. Whenever I travel outside Ethiopia and tell people that I work as a radio journalist, they expect that radio in Ethiopia is similar to its counterparts in the Western world, that Shaggar is either just a music radio or talk radio station. Radio in Ethiopia is truly a mass media. It is a resource for information and community building. People call into Shaggar with their hardships regarding housing, legal issues, or to ask for support when there are water or electricity service issues, and we give them a voice. Our slogan is Yennanto Radio, which translates to your radio, or rather, the people's radio. I love radio, and I believe that radio is meant to be a service to the people. It has been the honor of my life to have been able to serve through work that I love. Thank you. And as we at Shaggar say, ኢትዮጵያ ለዘላለም ትኖር። አመሰግናለሁ።